the thriller genre, one which is always open to experimentation and provides some of the most engaging and unique stories in cinema. From classics like Seven and The Usual Suspects to modern hits like Gone Girl and Prisoners, we have all seen the greats. But today, I want to talk about the films that do not get talked about enough, the underrated thrillers that deserve way more attention. Welcome everyone. This is The Milestoner, and today I am here to list out some of the most underrated thrillers out there. Do tell me what you think of the films I'm going to talk about, and if there are any films you feel are hugely underrated that I haven't mentioned. First up, Nightcrawler. Released in 2014, the film follows Lou Bloom, played by Jake Gyllenhaal, a petty thief who stumbles into the world of crime journalism, capturing violent incidents and selling them to news channels, eventually blurring the lines between observer and participant. The film is a neo-noir thriller that is completely carried by Gyllenhaal's unhinged, creepy performance as Lou. He is a character with no moral boundaries, someone who will do absolutely anything to succeed. And that's what makes him so fascinating to watch. The film builds tension gradually, almost quietly, and by the end, it becomes less of a thriller and more of a character study of a person filled with ambition without conscience. Searching. Now, this is one of those rare thrillers that takes a simple concept and turns it into something incredibly gripping. At the core of it, the film has a simple premise: a father searching for his missing daughter. But what sets it apart is the setting. The entire film is set within the digital media: laptop screens, FaceTime calls, social media. And that's what makes this film so captivating. You're not just watching the mystery, you are an active part of it, scanning every detail, every clue. It feels as if you are moving alongside the protagonist as the twists unfold and more of the clues are revealed. With a runtime of only 102 minutes, the film is tightly packed and moves at a brisk pace, so there isn't a single boring moment throughout, making it one of the most immersive thriller experiences out there. Forgotten. This is a film that was recommended to me by one of my friends, and I was blown away by just how good this film was. Directed by Jang Han Joon, this is a psychological thriller that sneaks up on you and twists your mind when you least expect it. The story follows a young man whose brother is kidnapped, and then he returns days later with no memory of what happens, but it slowly becomes evident that there is something off about him. What starts as a simple mystery slowly unravels into something much more complex and unpredictable. The film is filled with subtle details and clues, and just when you think you understand what's going on, it completely flips everything. It is a kind of film that makes you sit there after it ends just processing what you just watched. Next up, Ugly. Directed by Anurag Kashyap, this is a Bollywood film that is exactly what its title promises: ugly. While the core premise follows the disappearance of a 10-year-old girl, the film dives deep into the people involved instead of focusing purely on the investigation. Dark, gritty, and uncomfortable at its core, the film is an exploration of the ugliness of human nature. It completely revolves around the themes of pride, resentment, and greed. More than a thriller, Ugly is a profound character study of just how flawed human beings can be. And the ending, it's easily one of the most haunting endings I've seen in Indian cinema. The Killing of a Sacred Deer. This is easily the most unconventional film on this list. An unsettling yet absurdist thriller, the film follows a surgeon whose life takes a disturbing turn after he befriends a teenage boy with a very unsettling presence. Now, the important thing to keep in mind is that this isn't your typical thriller. It is slow, cold, and deeply uncomfortable. There are a lot of thematic elements involved in it, mainly guilt and punishment, and it also serves as a modern retelling of a Greek tragedy about Agamemnon and the goddess Artemis. The entire film has this constant sense of unease that never really goes away, and that is boosted by the performances, especially Barry Keoghan, who gives an eerie yet understated performance throughout. And finally, we have I Saw the Devil, a brutal South Korean revenge thriller about a Secret Service agent hunting down the serial killer who murdered his pregnant fiancée. This is one of the most brutal and disturbing films I've ever watched. While on face value, the premise seems simple, the film is actually quite profound and has multiple layers to it as a psychological thriller. It brings up the question of how far would you go for revenge, and when does the line between hero and monster start to blur. The film turns into a relentless cat and mouse game between the two characters who are both terrifying in their own ways. It is intense, disturbing, and not for the faint heart, but It is also one of the most powerful thrillers I have ever watched. So, those were some of my picks for underrated thrillers that you should definitely check out. Let me know in the comments if you have seen any of these, what were your thoughts, and what are some other underrated thrillers that you would recommend. Also, if you like this video, do like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.